Hey, listeners, we're back for another episode of Real Talk with David. And today's guest is a TikTok celebrity. He is a self proclaimed baseball superstar, sexiest man in Charleston. I mean, just wait, YouTube listeners, YouTube
Oh,
viewers, until you
God.
see this beard. Mr. Tradd Bastian. How's it going, Tradd?
It's going good, man. That's a hell of an intro. I don't know if I can live up to that, but I'll take it.
Okay, well, we're done then.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Bro, take it. I mean, take our listeners back before real estate. I mean, introduce them to you. Who are you, and what were you doing before real estate? And then we're gonna get kind of into your story.
Yeah, for sure, man. So it's interesting because before real estate was college, I got my license while I was in college. My dad and my grandfather are both brokers. They did commercial. I was the black sheep that went residential. So I will say I graduated in '07, and '08 was not a great time to be in real estate. So I did property management for about 5 years, construction, timeshare sales, AT&T call center, bike taxi downtown, bouncing, anything under the sun to make a dollar so I could live through it.
You look
And I
like a
did.
bouncer.
I literally walked up to the guy. I was like, "Hey, you need a big body?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, cool. How much is pay?"
That's awesome.
So, um, but yeah, so and I went back to school in 2010, got my MBA at the Citadel, and 2013, I had strapped myself with debt and was like, I need to shit or get off the pot with this whole real estate thing. And just kind of, my dad moved away. I was under his brokerage, and I love him to death, but he just, I think he was burnt out, and um, it wasn't a good fit for the time. And so I moved to a different brokerage and started selling almost immediately. And 2013 was my first full year in sales, and haven't looked back, man. It's been awesome.
Very cool. So let me ask you this: like, growing up in a family that did real estate, obviously, I hear a lot of times people like that grow up in the environment are like, "Oh man, I'm never doing what my parents did." Were you like of the opinion, like, did you like what you saw in real estate? Did you understand the advantages to being in the profession, or was it something like you're like, I'm going to do everything but real estate, and then it was just like a plan B?
Yeah, no, so um I want to say in my sophomore, either my sophomore or junior year in college, um I my dad and his buddy went to Memphis in May, which is a barbecue contest, and we were sitting in a Waffle House in Arkansas, and he goes, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I mean, I don't know. I'm getting this business degree, but I have no idea." He's like, "You want to get in real estate?" I was like, "I mean, I kind of figured between you and Papa, y'all could probably help me out, and I'm good with people, so sure, why not?" And that's how it started. So, but growing up around it, I mean, it was one of those things where I don't think that I really understood, and I was a kid, man, and I was also kind of a dumbass, but I could have
Most
asked
kids.
better questions. Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of a dumbass. But I should have asked better questions, and I want to then real now I know what I want to tell my kids, right? So like, I love my dad to death. I think that he could have done some things differently to help me kind of understand, and I want to do that for my kids. I'm not blaming him for anything.
Mhm.
I've done well, and I thank him for it. And we're actually on a team together now, so it's
Oh
come
wow.
full circle. It's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, so I would say it's been interesting. Um, and it was a longer road to get to those sales. You know what I mean?
Well, so you said that you didn't follow in the commercial path. You decided to go residential instead. What was your thought process around that? Why did you think that residential was the way for you to go?
I didn't want to wait 3 years to get paid. So it just makes my butthole pucker a little bit to have to use a credit card for a year and a half and rack up a ton of debt and not get a paycheck. So, and I mean, I could have done leases. It didn't work out that way. And the wild thing is my grandfather, who was at that point probably been in commercial real estate for, I don't know, 50 years, he developed several neighborhoods and commercial developments, all that stuff. He was my first client. And I was like, I love you. Thank you for allowing me to represent you because you don't need
Wow.
my help. So it was, but it was cool. It was like a really cool kind of like rite of passage kind of thing, I feel like. So
Yeah, that's a pretty neat handoff. So in 2013, you said was your first like full year.
full
Okay.
year in sales. Yep.
So what did that first year look like for you? I mean, so I've talked to agents who have gone out there and they've done 400,000 in GCI their first, their rookie year. I've talked to
No.
others who they don't get their first check for 10 months, 11 months. What did your first year look like?
Uh, it was it was hit and miss. I mean, I think I did probably like 50, 60,000 in GCI
Okay.
my first year, which, not bad. I think it was like 9 deals, maybe 10, something like that. And but it wasn't steady. The market was just kind of coming back from the
Hmm.
whole 2008 debacle. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, and I'm with KW now, obviously know you through that. And I wish I'd have joined earlier because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I had been in the industry or been in sales for 6 full years before I joined KW, and I still didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm.
So it was eye opening coming into something like Keller to kind of just, you know, open my eyes and get me on the right path. So
I know it's been a while, and you and I are getting up there in age, and it's hard to think all the way back to 2013. But the kids do that to you. But like, what were some of those things that you feel like you didn't know that you wish you did know?
I mean, the importance of systems and models. I was beating my head against the wall trying to develop a team and not only develop a team, but also be efficient. And I naturally want things to be as efficient as possible. And reading the MREA, which I had done before I went to Keller, but reading it again after getting more information and being able to talk with people about it more so just changed a lot of the ways I looked at how I developed the team and how I set it up. And I don't agree with everything, and I'm not knocking anything, but I don't agree with everything in the MRA. I went a different route. I hired a TC first, and then an admin, and whatever. So, but but yeah, it was wild, man. I there was a lot of things I didn't know, and the biggest one was systems and models and how to keep things doing this, going like that instead of doing
The
the
roller
way,
coaster. Yeah.
yeah, the
Well,
roller coaster.
we'll get more into the systems and models and things, and I want to talk to you about like what your business looks like today. But were there any other like major inflection points? I mean, between like 2013 and 2000, call it 17, 18, 19, maybe pre-COVID, like were there any other like inflection points, things where you like experience massive growth or massive failure, or what did those like next series of years look like for you?
Yeah, so basically I doubled my business every 2 years, give or take. Which was great. And I was like, why can't I double it every year? Because I always want more. Um, but I think the biggest was 2018. I did 18 million in volume with myself and an admin.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
and on top of it was great. On top of that, um, we sold our primary house, bought a partially burnt house. So we took down 3 exterior walls and 60% of the floor joists, lived with my in-laws for 3 months while we had our second child, who was only 14 months younger than our first child. Then my wife decided that she didn't want to live with her parents anymore. And so we got a 2 bedroom condo with 2 children, like almost infants. I guess they were both infants. And 3 dogs. And 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 I was basically the GC for our house that was getting built because our GC was okay, but he wasn't great. And I also flipped a house, sold an investment property, and probably bought and sold 3 or 4 trucks that year. So 2018 was a hard year.
Oh, you did a lot
It
of
was
shit in 2018.
I did a lot. I did a lot, and it was hard more so because I didn't realize how much my wife needed me,
Hmm.
and I wasn't there for her in the way she needed me. I was in the provider mode, right? I'm like, I'm trying to make as much money as possible. We got 2 kids and 3 dogs and my wife, and you're gonna pay for all this crap. And so I was like super focused on making money, and it almost it took a toll on our marriage for a while, and we're good now, but it was tough there for about 2 years.
So
So
being
and,
someone
and I,
who, sorry, Tradd, but
no, no,
I'm
go
like
ahead.
really interested in this topic because obviously you and I are probably pretty type A driver achiever mentality. Yeah, we think in terms of, even though the business is doubling every 2 years, why can't I double it every year? That's just like that's the profile of a lot of agents, not all agents, but a lot of agents that are successful in this business have that type of personality profile. And I find that that does create a lot of tension potentially in a spousal relationship. So I really want to like just park here for a second and like, what were some of the things that you had to learn that allowed you to continue being in growth mode but not sacrifice like everything else that's important to you?
So it took sacrificing income for about 2 years. So when I in 18 we did 18 million. In 19 I think it dropped to like 10. So it was a substantial drop. And then 20 was like 12 or 14, maybe somewhere that. And then 2021 was like right under 24 million. And last year we did right under 26 million.
Hmm.
So, but to answer your question, therapy was a big piece. Like marriage counseling was huge. It did two things. One, it opened my eyes to what I was doing wrong, because the therapist was like, "You're basically cheating on your wife with your job," and I was like, "Well, that doesn't make any damn sense at all." But it also makes perfect sense because I understand what you're saying. The time wise, and my
Yeah.
wife's love language is quality time.
Hmm.
So of course I'm not there, and I'm not there to help with the kids. So she's thinking that I don't care about her, and I'm just like, no, I'm trying to get as much money as possible for all the things we got. So, anyways, that was huge. And then again, with I switched over to Keller in 2019, so understanding how to really build out a team and and be more intentional with it and methodical about how I do it instead of, and my business has always been methodical, and I've never spent a ton of money on ads or anything like that because I want it to be organic growth. And it took longer, but now I have people calling me to list their house. I
Hmm.
don't have to go out and hunt for business. You know what I mean? And that was intentional, but it took longer.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But so that getting getting out of the mindset of I need to be doing all the things, I need to be bringing on agents and other people to help me get more time back for my life. And that was a huge piece uh, that I still struggle with. I mean, when you hire people, you got more time that you have to put into them. So
Yep.
you're not really getting your time back immediately. And that's what I've told my wife. I was like, hey, listen, yes, I hired this person, but it's going to be 6 months before they're up and running. And even then, it's probably more like a year. So we won't see the benefit of it for 6 to 8 months. And
Hmm.
so, and that was the biggest key for us, is just me bringing her into the vision of the team and what I wanted to do for our family, and not just stacking cash and telling her, oh yeah, we got plenty of money in the bank. Like, she needed to be a part of the process. And she didn't articulate that. I'm not blaming her, but going through therapy, it was like, hey, she was like, hey, I want to support you. I just want to know what I'm supporting. And I'm like, that's
Hmm.
100% fair. So it was tough, man, but it was good. I mean, we've come on the other side of it. So I mean,
Well, I
and I think that's one of the things that nobody really talks about in this industry, is how difficult it is with a family, because you're on call
yeah.
24/7. I mean, not
Yeah,
really, but
well, and that's why I laugh anytime an agent comes to me and is like, "Hey, I want to get into this business, Dave." And I'm like, "Why do you want to get into this business?" They're like, "Oh, flexibility and freedom." And I'm like, "What the fuck,
I want to
John?"
be my own boss. I want to make as
Yeah,
much
yeah,
money as possible. I want to have a flexible schedule. Like those are all cool things, except for it's all bullshit because your boss is every client you have. Your schedule is their schedule, and you can make as much money as possible. You take a vacation, you ain't making shit.
yep, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And so there's a few things that I heard in what you just shared, and thank you for taking me down that in parking there for a second. But like you had to be willing to slow down in order to speed up in both
Yep.
the volume that you were doing, and also you brought it up when like you hire people. Moving from me to we, there will always be a hockey stick effect, and that hockey stick or that check mark effect is where as an individual you may be here, as a group you go down slightly, and then until you figure out how to be a true team, that's when you actually see the results. So like, what is it? I mean, you mentioned the volume that you're doing now. What is the team makeup look like now? Is it you and a buyer's agent, a showing assistant? Is it a TC? What does it look like?
So right now I've got it's myself, an EA, a VA, and I just joined on with Level 8. David Huffaker has a platform kind of similar to Place Livion. So I've got their whole back end. So they do my TC, coaching, training, recruiting. There's a wealth piece, listing, prep, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some other shit too. But there's a bunch of different stuff that comes with it, and it's just kind of I've been getting used to that. So, and then my dad's on the commercial side, and I had an agent that just, and I kind of joke with people. I'm like, I did such a great job for this guy. He was able to retire after 2 years and travel the world with his girlfriend. He'll be back. He'll be back. But so right now it's me solo again with the staff, like the admin.
Yeah.
And the goal for this year is to hire 3 agents. So
Okay.
we're
So I want to talk to you about this a little bit then. The level 8 is what you call it, Huff Acres thing.
yep.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about like platforms, because I think, I mean, super successful, and like you're doing amazing work. We haven't even gotten into it, but I mean, you are highly referral based, past client. I mean, what did you say, like 97%?
97% of my business is sphere and agent to agent referrals.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that, but I want to talk about this like idea of, and really this movement in the industry as I see it, of successful agents and successful teams moving to bigger teams and platforms. Like when you think about it, I mean, you mentioned a bunch of them: Livian, Place, Level 8. I mean, there are a lot of these platforms that are starting to develop, and massive producers are moving to them. What is it that causes someone who's successful like you to look up and say, I need what these platforms offer? Because there's a cost to doing business with them, but what's the result? Like, what is the benefit in your mind?
Scalability. I can scale a hell of a lot faster. Without it's the same reason I came to Keller. It's just the next level, if you will. I mean, they're basically the way that Level 8 set up. They're there to help me grow, and they don't get paid the big money until they help me grow.
Hmm.
So I've got a grandfathered in GCI that they'll take 10% of, but they don't get a 50-50 split until I've hit that grandfathered in number, which is great for me because if this year it takes a shit, then I'm not giving them 50-50 off day one. So I know that I can live off of the money that I'm getting up until that grandfathered in number. And then once we hit that, shit, I don't care. I'll give you,
Yeah.
and then they cap it and it goes back to 90-10. So the biggest thing for me was I can scale faster, I can hire more agents, and I can get them into our ecosystem faster and get them up and running faster and more efficiently than I could do on my own. And my ultimate goal is to get out of transactions as quickly as possible. So if I'm going to do that, I need more agents.
I really like the way, as you were describing that, I guess the phrase that kind of the terminology that's coming to my head is like, they provided you this system for secured scalability. Like there was
Yep.
security, there's security wrapped in up in it, and there is the system for that scaling to take place. And dude, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think it is going to be the continued trend as we get into markets of the future. I think there was this very entrepreneurial mindset for a few years of, hey, I'm going to figure out employee benefits, I'm going to figure out being a GP on syndicates for my agents, I'm going to figure out this and that and the other thing. And now I think agents are recognizing how difficult and slow it can be, and what linking up with these gigantic organizations can truly do for them. I mean, do you agree that that migration pattern will continue?
I mean, I think that I believe that it will. How quickly, I don't know, how long it's going to take for it to transition, but the I had a thought and I lost it. Anyway, yeah, it'll come
Yeah.
back to me. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that uh, it was interesting to me because as I was talking with Level 8, I talked with a couple other people or a couple other platforms too. But as I was talking with them, I was also talking to other agents that I knew that were joining other platforms. And I was like, so what do you like about them? And they're like, oh, I love this, 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 and this. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I even hit up David. I was like, hey, listen, man, I can't remember if it was Livian or Place or whatever, but I'm like, hey, theirs is a 175. Why is yours 300? That seems like a lot, man. He goes, I'll do 175, 50-50 starting day one with you. I was like, oh, you sound way too confident about that. I don't have to think about it for a minute. And I was like, wait a second. If I don't make any more than I did last year, you're taking half. That sucks. I don't want to do that. No, I'm going to stick with what I got. So it's that security it was that for me because I'm cautious, but I also know that I'm going to always be pushing. So I'm not worried that I won't make the money, but but not knowing what's coming makes me feel cautious and go, let me hold on to what I've got
Hmm.
and then let's grow from there kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I like I can resonate with that. There's something about like, that security element while still having a growth mindset. So I totally get that. I do want to just change subjects a little bit here. To be
Yeah.
97%, I mean, I think, if we go on nationwide averages based on, our best data, our best guesses, I mean, your database, your sphere of influence is always going to produce probably, north of 80% of your business. And then you should pick a couple other lead levers as well. But to be at 97%, I mean, you're doing something that other agents either just choose not to do, or you just do what other agents do, but you do it at a higher level. So like, what is it for you that's like allowed you to create that type of business where you're transacting so much just from your sphere of influence?
Um, so I, I don't have, and this is the other thing that I'm looking forward to. I don't have like an 8x8, a 36 touch, like a formal one. I tried the DTD2, but my CRM was kind of shitty and I didn't stick to it. So, having said all that, if I did those things, I'd have even more business.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about getting into that. But what I have done is whenever I work with someone, I find them on social media, whichever, if it's Instagram, Facebook, probably not TikTok, but if so, okay. Um, and I follow them. And I also post consistently. So I'm staying top of mind in their mind without even having to do the cold calls and the forward calls and all that stuff. I do that stuff, just not consistently. I
Hmm.
post consistently. So I'll have people, I had a guy from my baseball league hit me up in January. He's like, hey, listen, man, me and my wife are getting divorced. We're gonna need to sell our house. My previous agent would list it for this. Can you match that? I was like, I don't, yes, absolutely. It's new business. And he's like, and I'll probably end up buying later. I was like, perfect. But he didn't even have my number. He hit me up on Facebook.
Yep.
So I mean, like the come list me's. I've had like 6 of them already this year, and it's because I've had that longevity and staying top of mind year over year. It's not something that just happened, it just takes time. And I think that's a lot of the issues with agents nowadays is they assume that they should have business like this. I mean, you're gonna pay for it and
Hmm.
you're gonna pay a lot of money for it and may not get the business initially either. If you play that long game though, you'll keep making money. So And then the agent to agent referrals thing is same thing. I'm just staying top of mind with the agents that are sending me business, and referral pages, even though they're a pain in the ass, they still work. And what I'm trying to do is get to a point where I can circumvent that referral page and just have agents that are, I'm their guy in Charleston, period. They're not calling anybody else. They're not putting it anywhere else. Like you talked to Tradd. And that was another thing with Keller, with their referral source. Like you can go and check the whole nation and all that kind of stuff. And I leaned into that pretty heavy, and I actually filled out my bio. And I've had at least 3 leads that I can think of that they just said, "Hey, you filled out your shit. It sounded good. I'm giving you the lead." I'm like,
No
no
way.
way.
Really?
No way. Yes. Yes. I was like, how, whatever. I'll take it. Sure. Absolutely. I'm your guy. But I mean, like in the back of my head, I'm like, why you didn't even call me. You just said, "Hey, here's a lead."
I don't know
I'll
if that's that worries me for the agent sending it, but I mean, that's great for you.
It's great for me, and it worked out well. The client was awesome.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to the social media aspect first, and then we'll go back into agent referrals and staying top of mind. One, thanks for being transparent with everyone about like, hey, I don't have this, and if I did, like, I'm moving this from 97% to 99%. Like, I mean, because that's the reality, and I want people to hear this too, because I think it shocked. I'm speaking to brokerage leaders right now. I think brokerage leaders sometimes think that just because there's a volume or a unit count attached to an agent that they have their crap together. And like,
Yeah.
here's the deal. A lot of us don't, right? Most of us probably don't. And so it's something like as simple. So we assume that things like a 36 touch are set up, or we assume that they have an accountant, or we assume that they understand what, all these different things. And so it's like, no, there are people around you, leaders, who like they're doing 15, 20, 25 million in sales, and you still have so much value to offer them. So that's for the portion of my audience who's leading brokerages. I want you guys to like hear you have value, massive value to bring to people that are top producer in your office. The other thing I want to say is, every agent, I shouldn't say every agent, but many agents, especially agents in our generation, they want to do social media well. What is it like? How do you know when you're being successful at social media? And like, what does the strategy look like? I mean, are you completely organic in your approach? Do you have some type of system with like how many times you're posting, when you're posting? Are you tracking metrics like that? Like, what does it look like for you?
I'm probably not the poster child for this because it's
That's all right.
I don't have a system. I know that I just need to post constantly.
Mm.
And so I do. And if I go a day or two without posting, I feel it just because I'm not getting the engagement on those apps. So like I know that I'm not doing a good job if I'm not seeing notifications.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's my metric. And I know that's very very rudimentary, but that's my metric. So I don't have a traditional system. I do have a marketing woman that I work with that's going to get. I actually told her last week that we're going to be moving to level 8 and they're going to handle the marketing. But she handles some stuff for the business. So like mostly business pages, and I think it's important to have that because it legitimizes you as a business. But I don't think I get any leads from that. It's 98.9% comes from my personal.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I mean, I did that TikTok panel at family reunion, and I had people sending me their business pages on Instagram. I was like, I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to see this shit. I want to see you. I want to know who you are. And
Yep.
if I can help you, great. If I can't, no big deal. I can learn from you. I'll take. I still need help. I still need help. But so I was like, hey, listen, is this your business page? You're like, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to see this shit. One dude had nothing but open house posts. I was like, did you close any of them? Did they go under contract ever? It was nothing but open house posts. He was like, oh yeah. I was like, you didn't want to post that? He's like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'm just saying, man. I don't know. So it's stuff like that. It's I feel like if you're it's and you asked about organic, it's all organic. I mean, I do some paid stuff, man, but not anything to write home about. I mean, I might spend, I think I've spent maybe 20 grand in marketing, like that's sponsorships, Facebook ads, every type of marketing that I do. I might have spent 20,000, and like last year we did 659,000 in GCI.
Wow.
So like I don't spend a lot of money on marketing. And if I did, we'd probably make more money. It's just I like keeping my profitability high.
Well,
And
that
I'm
goes
working
back to
and
even
that's
your personality, and I have a lot of agents, top agents like that, who they don't necessarily spend 10% of their GCI like they probably could based on the budget model
or
that I
should.
teach. Yeah, right. But like, hey, if that's what like makes you and your significant other like secure in the business. I mean, we are in a small business entrepreneurial like endeavor that like does have a lot of risk, and so there is something to be said just to have the security of that. So here's what like a buddy of mine just made the point recently on his podcast. I just heard a clip of it. Shout out to Ramon. And his partner Tessa. But they're basically just talking about, if I'm a consumer out there and I go to Agent A, and Agent A has nothing out there on social media about what they do, and then Agent B has a bunch. It doesn't matter if Agent B is way shittier of an agent than Agent A. What matters in the eyes of the consumer is the perception. And it goes back to that
Yep.
like idea that perception is reality. And so, like, if you think about that from the perspective of being a really great agent, like you are doing a disservice to the public by not being better on social media than Agent B, right? Like,
Well, and
go ahead.
I just had this conversation via TikTok with I don't know if it was another agent or somebody asked me how do you vet an agent? I was like, well, Google them. If they don't have a Google page, that's not a good sign. If they don't have check Facebook. If they don't have a Facebook page, that's another red flag. And then hit up Zillow and see if and you can look at their past sales on Zillow. And if they have nothing there, that's strike three, man. You're out.
Yeah.
And I don't think that most people do that, but you know, I hear all these horror stories on TikTok how agents suck and we're the scum of the earth and all this bullshit. I was like, I'm sorry that somebody hurt you, but it wasn't me. My clients love me and they send me business all the time. You might have had a shitty agent, and I'm sorry about that, but we're not all crap. I had one woman reach out to me, and I won't go into all the details because she's in a lawsuit right now, but essentially her agent and the listing agent and the inspector, like it was a legit a conspiracy. It's wild, man. But I felt so bad for her because she commented on one of my posts or one of my videos. It was pretty rough, and I was basically like, for all the people that have been talking shit about agents on TikTok, go fuck yourself. And she was like, well, and she tells me her story like, holy crap, this was not meant for you. How can I help you? Right? And she goes, seriously? I was like, of course. Like, I'm not in your area, but if I can help in any way, I would be happy to. And I've got a couple attorneys I can talk to that are in real estate law that might be able to work in North Carolina. And she's still working through some stuff, but I'm like, that's the bad rap that we've gotten from, a handful of agents that are shitty. I'm trying to circumvent that and be like, listen, I'm not going to make a dime. I'm just trying to help you because that's what I want to do. That's what I like to do. That's why I got into this.
Yeah.
I like helping people, and the more you help people, the more money you'll make. It's simple.
Reciprocity there. So you've mentioned TikTok quite a few times. So I mean, I assume that you're putting time there. You're obviously doing a good job. I mean, a lot of my listeners don't know what the Hell Family Reunion is, but I mean, it's only the biggest real estate conference in the world, held every single year with Keller Williams. So you're on a panel there. Congratulations. Not easy to.
I'm still waiting for them to uninvite me because I was like, have y'all watched this? Because I drop a lot of F-bombs, and that's a no-no on stage. And I'm trying. I didn't drop one F-bomb. Manigan did, but I didn't do it.
There you go. Well, I want to just lean into TikTok for a second here. I mean, obviously you see it as a place that's worthwhile spending time. Why do
Yep.
you see it as a worthwhile use of your time?
So to be perfectly honest, I started on TikTok in 19, had no idea what I was doing, just playing
2019. I didn't even
around.
know it was around 2019.
I got video evidence of my first family or my first mega camp and on TikTok. It was like my
Wow.
fourth or fifth post or some shit. Yeah.
Wow,
So
crazy.
I played on it for a little while, kind of got used to it, understood it, didn't understand it, still don't fully understand it. Algorithms change all the time, whatever. Um, and I realized pretty quickly that I didn't know enough about it to target people that were looking to move to Charleston. Yes, I could hashtag Charleston and I could do all this stuff, but I wasn't getting a whole lot of engagement. And so then I started seeing all this negativity around agents on TikTok, and I was like, well, I'll just fuck with them. So I started trolling the trolls a little bit. And while doing so, bringing the agents in closer. And I was like, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to target
Mhm.
agents specifically that are outside of my market for referrals. And they may not come tomorrow, but they will come eventually. And I've gotten probably like 4 or 5 so far. They haven't panned out to pay out yet, but it's it's just the community that I'm building around it. And I would say, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would say probably at least half, if not more than half, of my followers are agents, and
Okay.
that was
So so
that was intentional.
you had to make, yeah, you made an intentional shift from were like hunting for buyers and sellers on that platform to hunting for agents. And you said that, I mean, that's the other pillar of your business, your lead gen anyway, is agent to agent referrals. Do you have any advice for those? I mean, I think it's one of the most underutilized, specifically in Keller Williams. But I mean, I don't care which big company you're with. I think agent to agent referral business is so underrated, undervalued, and there's so many ways to grow that pillar of business. If you're not making six figures just from that pillar alone, like, you have room for improvement. So what are the skills, the strategies, the tips that you have on growing your agent to agent referral business?
It's just like anything, man. It's a relationship. You're building relationships with these agents, and I mean, it doesn't hurt that I grew up here. I've been in the business for a long time. I've got some clout around that, so that helps bolster me a little
You
bit.
have a
But it
sexy
doesn't
beard.
matter. I mean, it's okay. It's getting grayer, but I would say that it's just about the relationship. It's no different than your sphere. You're touching them, and you're touching your sphere just like you want to be touching these agents. Like, you need to stay top of mind with them, and that's what I love about social media is I can do that. And TikTok, I can do it even more, you know, focused because I'm literally not. I don't if I get a listing or a buyer from TikTok that's in Charleston, that was an accident, 100% accident. Because I'm not. That's not what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is just with Keller, and I know I keep bringing Keller up, but it's what I know, and I didn't have this opportunity. The brokerage I was with before was 100% commission, $200 a month, but it was a boutique firm in Charleston, so I didn't have any national reach, and that's why I joined Keller. I mean, the models and the systems were good, and I knew that was a plus, but the recruiter was like, "Hey, we got this thing called Command." I was like, "It's CRM. It's probably going to suck. I don't give a shit. Tell me more about these referrals." He goes, "Oh man, you can dive in. You can see everybody where everybody is and who's doing numbers and all this." It's like, I want to make money there, and if I don't make money there, I'll leave. And so my first year I did 25,000 in GCI just from KW. Second year was 75,000. Third year was over 100, and that was last year. Yeah, so we were over 100. I mean, like, half of my business last year, or right under half, was referrals. Now it was past client and agent to agent, but about half of that was agent to agent. So
Yeah.
25% of my business, give or take, was agent to agent referrals on 659,000 in GCI. So I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's massive. So I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, what I'm hearing from you is that just like anything, it just requires intentionality, staying top of mind, cultivating the relationship. There's not really any magic to it. It's just being intentional with those relationships. And really, that's what I hear. Like, you're not a guru, Tradd, on like on all the checklists and all the spreadsheets, all the, this and that and the other thing, right? And you're smart though, because you're building your business now in partnership with a platform that's going to help you do that. So like there's even this, just like this awareness around what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, which I love. But what you're really good at, what your strengths are, is this cultivating relationship and staying top of mind. And that's led you to just massive levels of success in your business. So what would you kind of before we transition in the last segment of our show, I want to be respectful of your time. But like, if there is, like, as you look at the market ahead of us, and the last couple years has been, just almost just accident. People have been accidental successes to some degree. Like, what are you seeing in both your business and in other agents' businesses that they're having to be more intentional with in order to get through this market shift and take advantage of this market shift?
That's a great question. I don't know that I've done anything different. And the reason I say it is because the relationships that I've had are still paying and I'm still diving into them. So like with family reunion, I intentionally went and met with certain people, and then I randomly met with other people. But I can't speak for anybody else. I feel like there was a moment where I was like, okay, this is going to get weird. And it did for a second. Like last year was the best year I ever had, ever. And while some people were saying their volume or whatever went down, mine went up 15 or 16%. So, I'll just lean in on that. And, I really haven't done anything different. That's the thing. And I know that's not the answer you're probably looking for.
I'm not looking for any answer in particular. I think, I mean, even as I listen to you say that, I think there's a very, there's an easy answer as to why that is your answer. Did that make sense? I don't know.
I think so. I mean,
it's because the easy answer is because you have just been in, at least for the last several years, and maybe for your entire career, this perspective of, I am in this business to cultivate relationships and stay top of mind. And that's what this business is. And I think those who I refer to that were kind of accidental successes, they weren't in that relationship business. They were in the business of stuff like falling in their lap, and they were in the transactional business. And there needs to be this shift back away from transactional to relational. And not everyone's good at that. And I think that's why we will see attrition. But I will also say, even if that's not your natural bent, even if you're not naturally like a trad with relationships, you can grow in that area. So don't just like write yourself off that like, oh, I can never get there. Like, it just requires being purposeful.
Well, and I know that we kind of chatted offline about this, but like, it's like my baseball league. I've been in this league for 14 years. I didn't really start paying much attention to it as a lead source until about 6 years ago. And in the last 6 years, I've done 360,000 in GCI out of that league. And I sponsored the teams each year. I think I sponsored like 3 teams in 1 year. That was $3,000. I mean, if I've spent more than 20 grand, maybe 30, call it 30, and that's high, to make 360, that's pretty good return on investment.
That's pretty good, dude.
It doesn't have to be baseball. It could be anything. I mean, it could be a, Dungeons and Dragons crew, whatever you do, man, just whatever you love doing. The biggest thing is showing up. Me just spending the money doesn't do shit.
No,
I gotta be there. And my wife will give me hell about this. She's like, why do you got to go out after the game? You're already there for 3 hours. I'm like, because that's where the business happens. Like while we're playing, but afterwards at beer or lunch or whatever that is after the game, that's when people come to me. I don't ever mention it. I have people come to me and go, hey, what's the market doing? Hey, I got a buddy that's looking to buy a house. Hey, I'm not pushing anything on them. I'm just there. So I'll talk to it, but I don't have to anymore. I had a guy call me yesterday. He's like, hey man, I got your number from, one of the guys on the other team. What name of my team? He goes, I got a question about renting my house out. I'm like, well, I don't do rentals, but hey, I'll send you a couple property managers. He's like, oh, that'd be awesome. I was like, hey, and remember that your taxes are going to go up, and you need to talk to your insurance provider because you're going to be renting your house. He's like, shit, I didn't even think about that. I was like, there you go. And if you sell your house, you got about 3 years. If you sell it before that 3 year mark and you've been in it 2 of the last 5, you don't pay capital gains. He's like, shit, I didn't know that either. I was like, I'm glad you called.
In a 5-minute conveson, I just potentially saved you thousands and thousands of dollars. So, and
Yeah,
that's
and
like,
he'll call me back when he's ready to sell. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like he's not gonna sell it right now, but he'll call me back when he's
Well, that's
ready.
what I was gonna say. I mean, you are someone I'm learning more and more. Like you look at the lifetime value of a relationship, right? And
Absolutely.
there is a lifetime value. And too many agents think transactionally and they think in the commission of the moment, as opposed to what could this relationship look like over the long haul if I'll just like be purposeful and intentional about staying in a relationship. We could go down this all kinds of different subject matters, man. I want to transition us into the last segment of our show. It's 3, 2, 1, action. Same 3 questions that I've asked every single guest since day one. You're on the hot seat. It's a red seat, and
It
you
is
ready to
red.
go?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
All right. Question number 1: what book has been most influential in your business and why?
Um, I would say How to Make Shit Happen from
That's
Sean
the
Whalen.
that's the name of the book. I've never heard of it.
How to Make Shit Happen.
Okay.
It was in the previous TL's office on his desk. He had left. Book was there. I picked it up. Real quick read, but it basically takes your life and separates it into like health, spirituality, friendships, business, and everything. And it has your options for all 3 of those deals, or all whatever it is. I think it's like 5. And so I read one, got back in the gym. Read another one, started working on this. So it wasn't directly a business deal, but it just got me in the mindset of getting my shit together
Yeah.
as a person, not just a business owner. So
Awesome.
that was huge.
We'll link that up in the show notes. I've never heard of that book, and so
Oh, it's a
I'm gonna
great book,
look it up.
and it's short too for us reading challenge folk.
The TikTok generation.
Yeah.
So question number 2: who has been most influential on your business and why?
um, Good question. I would say my most recent coach has been great. And I only transitioned away from him because of level 8. They provide coaching, so I'm a cheap ass. I'm not going to pay for 2 coaches, and I don't want 2 people in my ear. But I started coaching with him in 2019, 2019, and so not only did he help me through personal stuff while it was difficulty with my marriage and all that kind of stuff from coming from 2018, he was basically like, hey, listen, we're going to stop talking about business. Let's focus on you and your personal life, and let's get that right, because nothing matters in business if you don't have your personal life together.
Mm.
So I was like, all right, cool. And that was not something I anticipated. I was expecting him to kind of hard charge me, keep pushing through, you're going to be fine. So that, I think, just taking that step back helped me take a step back and put the focus back on my family, which I needed to do. And then that eventually helped propel my business. Because we also talked plenty about systems, models, all that kind of stuff. But that was I don't know, maybe like 3 months into coaching, I had some trouble with my marriage, and he was like, we're going to pull back from this. He sent me the therapist, or the marriage counselor we went to was one that he suggested, and it was
Wow.
great. So I would say Adam Roach. Yeah.
Adam. I was waiting for the name there. Way to go.
Yeah.
I love me some Adam Roach. I love
Yeah. He's
coaching.
awesome.
All right. Very
Yeah,
cool. So
man.
question number 3. I ideas are awesome. I'm an ideas guy. But ideas don't mean anything if you don't execute. And so this podcast is all about action, helping people learn, not for learning's sake, but for earning's sake. I feel so cheesy every time I say that, but it's true.
It
So
sounds great though. That just comes right off the tongue.
Question number three: if you had to, you're talking to an agent, new experience, it doesn't matter, but you challenge them with one thing that they should go out and take action on immediately to move their business forward. What would it be?
Uh, I would say higher leverage, and I don't care. I had a part-time assistant when I was doing 4 million in volume. I did not want to do the paperwork.
Yep.
My strong suit is not details; it is relationships. So I don't care where you're at in your journey. I mean, obviously, you're a brand new agent. Okay, maybe not, but you can go and partner with another agent and hire one admin for the both of you, or three people, or whatever. And now you have somebody to help with that. Or TC first. Hire a damn TC first. Done. There you go. That's it. Hire TC. If you don't have one, hire one. If you do have one, leverage, and whatever that leverage, that next level of leverage is, because you're always going to need more. So, and I like to hire before I actually need the leverage. So that
really
would be
good.
the key. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's great advice. Hey, Tradd, people are want to find you. They're gonna have referrals in Charleston, South Carolina. What's the best way for them to see your amazing content and connect with you?
Don't follow me.
You are not a good salesperson, my friend.
I'm not, man. And that's what I think is so funny, because people on TikTok, oh, you're just a car salesman. I was like, man, I don't sell shit. I don't sell houses. I sell me. If you like me, you'll work with me. So everything's Tradd Bastian. It's just Tradd Bastian on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And just slide into my DMs. I'm there.
Oh man, slide into this man's DMs. Tradd, this has been a fun conversation, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
Guys, this has been another episode of Real Talk with David, with our special guest, Tradd Bastian. Until next time, go play all in.